The most embarrassing job interview I ever went for, and I swear to God, I walked out halfway through. You will learn something from this story. First of all, so the job, it was in a social services department. Administration. I've got years of administration experience. I thought I'd be perfect for it. To get a job interview, you had to do one of those like typing tests. How many words can you type in the space of a minute? I can do 90. Didn't know that until that test. 90 words per minute I can type. So I got a job interview and they said you're only up against 3 other candidates. So I was like, all right, cool. Went to the job interview, went to the offices. One of the first questions they asked me, I thought I was prepared for every job interview question someone could ask you. What's your greatest strengths? What's your greatest weaknesses? Tell us about a challenge you've had. They asked me what I'm most proud of in the whole world. Learn from my mistake. If you go to a job interview and they ask you that question, they mean career. And they'll tell you, oh, it doesn't have to be career. They'll tell you that. They'll say it doesn't have to be career related. They want it to be career related. So if they ask you what's your most proudest moment, talk about something to do with work, something that happened at work that you're proud of. Maybe you solved a problem, maybe you were the lead on a project, whatever. My dumb ass, who doesn't think before she speaks sometimes, I said my most proudest moment was that I raised my daughter all alone. Isn't that sweet? Yeah, problem with doing that, it sounded pathetic. Like as soon as I said it out loud, don't get me wrong, it is something to be proud of, but it's in the context of saying it in a job interview, as soon as I said it, I wanted to take it back. And as soon as I said it, both the interviewers, both these women looked at me like, they just blinked at me, and then one of them snapped out of it and was like, oh my God, that's lovely. That's so sweet. Ugh. It wasn't. It was embarrassing. What made it worse then? So we move on and they then start asking me actual questions that I can answer. But it soon became very clear, based on their questions, that the job I'd applied for wasn't actually administration like I thought it was. It was actually a minute-taking job. Do you know what minute-taking is? You guys probably do, but for those that don't know what minute-taking is, it basically means your job will be to sit in loads of meetings and then just take notes. Just take important notes and then go back to your desk afterwards and type it all up. I had done minute taking before. I had done a whole minute taking course just to look good on my CV, but I hated minute taking. Sitting in a meeting, taking notes and not being able to be part of it. No, thank you. Now, the way I am now, if I went to a job interview and then realised halfway through that it is not the job I want, I would actually just interrupt them and say, do you know what, sorry, this is not what you advertised. I'm gone. But younger me was like, oh, that'd be rude. I better stick it out. So now I'm sitting in this interview that I know I don't even want the job for. So then once you realise you don't want the job, you stop caring about how you answer your questions. They then wanted me, so I'm like bombing this interview anyway. They should have just ended it because I am not answering the questions properly now. Like I'm just giving the stupidest answers. Not even deliberately, but it's like they'd ask me like, what's your greatest strength? And I'd just be like, oh, I'm always turning up to work on time. Which isn't even a strength, by the way. That's like what the bare minimum you're supposed to do. Then they were like, oh, we want you to do a test, like another typing test and like a grammar test. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Again, should have walked out. Didn't. They gave me this laptop and then they were like, we're going to leave you in this room alone, like give you some privacy. You've got half an hour. So off they go. I'm left with this laptop and I'm looking at this test like, can I even be bothered to do it? Because I know I don't want this job. Like I don't care if I don't get it. I don't want to get this job at this point. I made a start on the test. 10 minutes in, I was like, this is a load of shit. I just closed the laptop lid, just got up and walked out. I didn't realise that they would be waiting outside the door for me. There was a couple of seats in the waiting area that's directly outside. What is fucking going on? There were a couple of seats outside the interview room. I didn't realise they'd be sitting there. So as soon as I walked out, I saw them before they sort of saw me. So I just looked away, pretended I didn't see them, started to walk. I could hear one of them calling my name and I just kept walking like I couldn't hear it. And they're like, no, come back. Slaney, come back. Slaney. Pretended I couldn't hear it. I was too socially awkward to turn around and be like, I don't want this job. Like, they advertised it so badly. They advertised it as senior administrator. I can do that. I've done that before. And then in the interview, I find out it's minute taking. No, thank you. I still cringe at my answer that, oh, I'm so proud to be a single mum and raise a baby by myself. Look at me. So embarrassed by it. It keeps me awake at night. It makes me cringe. Don't do that. If they ask you what you're most proud of, say something career related. Make it up if you have to. Just don't say what I said. Don't do it.